Doc Venablis, question to the sex workers. Do you really think that the men you attract outside of your work are going to be mentally healthy? And don't confuse mentally unhealthy with insecure. Candace, you are the bomb. Sorry, man. Yeah, she left. But yeah, go ahead.
As somebody that's been in a relationship with a very, very normal person for the last year and a half, he is very mentally healthy. He is probably the most kind, patient, honestly, just one of the most amazing men I've ever met. He is, it almost feels like he's gone to therapy for years. I don't know. He just knows how to handle situations. He knows how to handle conversations or difficult conversations. He's just an absolutely wonderful human being. I don't have anything bad to say. If anything, I don't deserve him for sure. But yeah, I have a very mentally healthy boyfriend, and I think it's very possible for sex workers to find those people, and I have friends that have as well. I literally wouldn't be anywhere without him. I love him. He's great, and he's a great person. Just because I'm a sex worker doesn't mean that I'm not deserving of that.
Any response to the question?
We are just as deserving as having a healthy relationship with somebody that we love.
I'm trying to think what would be the mirror opposite if I were to rephrase. What's the equivalent? Would the girls date a sex worker? That's not a fair. Hold on, that's not a fair equivalent. Like a dude who doesn't have a job? I don't know.
That's because then they're not making money. That's completely different.
Yeah.
But what is the mirror opposite? Like, let's say among men who would view someone who does sex work as, among the men who would view someone who does sex work as not desirable for a partner, what would be the mirror opposite? Like, what profession or career would women, like podcast
Why isn't it
hosts?
the same?
I was about to say podcast.
Yeah, I preempted it. I knew y'all were going to come for me.
You
I
guys
knew
have
you were
any
coming for me.
podcasts? It's
Well,
like,
why isn't it
These
the
toxic
same?
podcasts.
I don't know. I feel like they could,
All these
maybe
white
just,
men
like,
with their
just like you would have
podcasts.
made
It's
a
the
sex
same
worker.
equivalent, just flipped. Why is it?
Yeah, why is it not
Yeah.
the same?
Would it be the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would it not be?
I don't know if it's a total, like, mirror opposite, though. You know?
So men can be sex workers and everything's good and fine and they're
Yeah,
cool.
right?
Well, no. That's not what I'm really getting at. I guess I'm more so getting at,
No.
in the same way that I think men care more about women's promiscuity than the reverse. Not to say that there's definitely women out there that don't want to date a guy who's promiscuous or who has a high body count, but I do think, generally speaking, women tend to care a bit less than men do when it comes to body count, promiscuity.
Maybe I'm just different because I do care. I don't think I.
You wouldn't date a sex worker, bro? You do
Yeah.
sex work, huh?
Yeah, but I have restrictions. I post lingerie. I wouldn't
Oh.
date a man who posts his nudes on the internet.
But if
What
he
if-
did
what if he's-
lingerie,
What if he
If
did
he did
lingerie?
lingerie, it'd be okay. If he was doing the same things I would, that's where I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I'm doing the things that I would allow my
Huh.
partner to do as well.
What if it was like nude, but
No
not
nude.
not sex, just
Doesn't
nude,
matter.
just peeing,
No nude, no pee-pee.
swinging in the air?
No, God, no.
Okay,
No.
okay. So then you wouldn't date a. Okay, all right.
I feel like this is a lie a lot of men tell each other. The idea that, like, oh, men can, like, sleep around a bunch or, like, have a bunch of, like, girlfriends and women won't care. Maybe you'll find a woman who doesn't care, but I think most women, like, don't want that.
Well, that's not really what I said.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you
Okay.
specifically. I'm saying that, like, this is a sentiment I've heard
From other people. Okay,
yeah.
sure. Yeah, okay. All right. Yo,
I feel like maybe the reverse could just be guys who subscribe to, like, sex workers. Do you know? I feel like that's the opposite, like, in my head,
could be.
which I would, like, not be okay with.
But I don't know if that's technically the opposite. Yeah. Because you're like seeking, like those
Both
men
are
would be seeking it out.
like both are, like, types of boundaries, though, that, like, if the guy doesn't want his woman being shown to a bunch of dudes for money, I don't want my partner being, like, paying to be shown a bunch of women for, like, his money.
Again, I think the difference is that men that are subscribing to OnlyFans are like going to seek out a sex worker. They're like actively seeking that out and that connection with somebody else, whereas somebody that's doing it as a job, like
Is,
we're
like-
not seeking out the men that are coming to
but they're
us.
still, like, selling out their sexuality. I feel like that's, like,
Here,
still,
let's
like, pretty,
let's
like, a boundary thing.
Yeah, let's just move on.